Buenos nachos, and welcome to that blasphemy we call Majorly Minor. I'm your host, Chris Dodson, and thank you for watching this week. There's a lot to cover. There were some great games, so let's get right into the XFL. The XFL, boy, I'll tell you what, it was a great week for the XFL, and including one of the great games that we were going to watch this whole season. We've been waiting for this one against the Cougars versus the Monarchs. Let's go right to the highlights.
Midway through the first quarter, Cougars get the ball on the one due to a mishandled punt. Orlandis Williams tackle in the end zone for safety. Monarchs up 2-0. Still in the first quarter, Monarchs drive to the 2-yard line. Stephen Hopper with a 2-yard run, extra point good. Monarchs 9-0. Cougars then get the ball at the 7-yard line after roughing the kicker when Jefferson on a 7-yard hard-fought run. Extra point is good. Now your score is 9-7 Monarchs. Now the Cougars get the ball back. Joe Cannon with a 26-yard field goal. 10-9 Cougars. Cougars with the ball again. This time 20-yard connection from Orlandis Williams to Wayman Carter for a touchdown. Extra point is good after that one. Your score is 17-9 Cougars. Now the Monarchs with the ball. After half, waste no time on this one with a 63-yard bomb from Stephen Hamilton to Danny Knight. And he flies in there, gets the flag, and then tippy-toes right into the end zone. 17-16 Cougars. Cougars with the ball and have to settle for a 22-yard field goal by Joe Cannon. Your score now is 20-16 Cougars. Stephen Hamilton goes back, throws a pick to Junior Sato as he weaves his way all the way back in for a pick six. Extra point good, 27-16 Cougars. Monarchs ball late in the fourth. Stephen Hamilton to find Danny Knight for a 38-yard touchdown pass. Monarchs decided to go for two, but it was deflected. Scores 27-22. No good. 27-22 Cougars. Time running out. Stephen Hamilton throws another pick, this time to Wendell Jones. The 22-yard field goal attempt could possibly seal the deal, but it's no good. With a little over a minute to play, the Monarchs march all the way down. Hamilton finds Stephen Hopper for a 22-yard connection after he rolls out over the defender, weaving in and out. Shakes it off. Finds right in the seam. A beautiful pass right there to keep it going. Hamilton back, looks, throws, connects again. This time to Danny Knight. Wiggles all the way down to the 20-yard line. Hamilton looks, scrambles, tries to find somebody, throws an errant pass, and is picked off. Your Cougars win this one by a score of 27-22.
That was a great game. I'll tell you, I wish I were there to watch that one. Came down to the wire. Boy, I love those games. So let's get right into this week's scores.
XFL scores brought to you by Light 'em Up Video Production. It was the Kansas Cougars who tamed the Oklahoma Monarchs by a score of 27-22. And it was a bad dream for the Nightmare as the Oklahoma Red Wolves first-year team beat the long-standing Nightmare by a score of 13-6. The Executioners shocked the Chargers as they won by 3 as a score of 15-12. And the Elite got the forfeit win against the Wichita Wolfpack.
Now let's visit the rankings for this week.
Week 5 XFL rankings brought to you by Thunder Bail Bonds. When life gets you struck by lightning, call Thunder. Providing bail bond service to Oklahoma City and surrounding area, 24-hour bail bond service, call 405-235-0002. At the number 1 spot this week, the Oklahoma City Elite at their first ever first spot in their existence. Congratulations to the Elite. Number 2, the Kansas Cougars retain the number 2 spot by beating number 3 this week, the Oklahoma Monarchs. Next is the Northern Oklahoma Executioners coming at number 4. Then the Oklahoma Red Wolves, followed by the Yukon Bobcats. The Oklahoma Nightmare dropping down to the 7th spot. The Oklahoma City Jaguars coming in at 8. The Oklahoma Chargers, and following up on the last, the Wolfpack at number 10.
Okay, so let's get right into this week's matchups, brought to you by Defender Sports.
Week 5 matchups and predictions brought to you by Defender Sports. Defender, the official uniform manufacturer for the Major League Minor show. This week we're going to see the Bobcats face off against the Oklahoma Elite in their second matchup. This year I think the Elite have got a much better squad than the improving Bobcats, and I think their experience will pay off as they're going to win this one by a score of 28-14. After that, we're going to see the Oklahoma City Jaguars face off against the Wichita Wolfpack. An easy call for me. The Jaguars are an improving team. I'm going to give them a score of 35-0. Then the Oklahoma Monarchs are going to bounce back against the Northern Oklahoma Executioners. I think the Monarchs are going to leave it all on the field as they're going to win this one by a score of 35-7. And that's going to bring us to this week's Game of the Week. This Game of the Week is going to feature the Oklahoma Nightmare facing off against the Kansas Cougars. The Cougars coming off their spectacular win against the Oklahoma Monarchs, and the Nightmare losing to their first year Oklahoma Red Wolves. I think this one's going to be a good fought game in the first half, but the Cougars are going to pull away with this one by a score of 28-14.
We'll be right back, and after this, we'll talk about the CFL.
Whether it's 3 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon, Thunder Bail Bonds is here for you. We understand that you are facing one of the most difficult situations you or your loved ones may have ever dealt with. We will do everything in our power to make sure you or your loved ones are released from jail as soon as possible. Thunder Bail Bonds is the highest reviewed bail bonds company in the Oklahoma City metro area. Give us a call today to find out why, or check out our additional videos and content. Call your always timely, professional, and courteous bail bondsman, Frank Deloger, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Welcome back. So let's talk about the Central Football League. This past week we had a few great games, one of which, I wish I was at this one, but we're going to cover a couple of games this week. So let's get right into highlights.
And getting a little hype before the game of the Eden Enforcers, getting ready to go for the Gravediggers, when Al Hunt hands the ball off to Galloway, and he makes it run easy to 20-yard line, touchdown, Eden Enforcers. Then Hunt, again, just hand the ball off to Callaway. Why not? 10-yard touchdown right there. Enforcers are up. Then Hunt, finesse pass to Michael Christopher, making it look too easy. Another one. And then finally, why not? Hand it off to Callaway again as he's just going to run past everybody. Touchdown. Enforcers win this one easy. Midway in the first quarter, Panthers have the ball at their own 8 when Rico Suave Watkins fires this torpedo to Marcel Miller for a huge gain all the way to the Crusaders' 25-yard line. On the next play, Watkins is back, has all day, and finds Cameron Young at the 2, and he tippy-toes his way into the end zone. Extra point missed, score 6-0 Panthers. Crusaders drive all the way to 5. Kevin Gibson pitches right, denied. TJ, Mr. Everywhere, Covington with the stop. In the second quarter, Panthers at the 51.5. Watkins launches the surface-to-air missile to Marcel Miller for the Panthers' second touchdown. PAT is good, 13-0 Panthers. In the ensuing kick, it looks like the Panthers are going to pounce on the Crew, but then the Crew all the way to the 40, the 50, the 30, almost stripped, but Anthony the Diesel Smith takes it all the way for the Crusaders touchdown, 13-7 Panthers. The Crew get the ball back. Play action. Gibson shoots and is picked off by TJ No-Fly Zone Covington. Don't hand the ball off to that guy. On the next play, the Panthers at the 12. Waiting for the ball. Has all day. Gets the snap. But a bad snap there. Bad recovery there. Or delivery. And the Crew get the ball. Gibson hands it off. Spins off. Finds his way into the end zone. Touchdown. 2-point conversion is good. Now it's 15-13 Crusaders. But the Panthers hand the ball off and fumble the ball at the 18. Another mishandled ball. Crusaders fall in it. Crusaders at the 30. Gibson rolls out. Fires the laser to guess who? TJ, thank you very much for the ball, Covington. And he takes it all the way back to the 18. Panthers at the 18. Watkins connects to Tenzel Asbury on this post route. Beautiful ball. 15-19 Panthers going in the half. Halfway through the third, Panthers drive to the 6. Watkins rolls out, overthrows his receiver, and is picked off by Tay. I'll take that, Love, and gets to the 35-yard line after he's getting taken down. Later in the fourth, Gibson about to be popped, throws the pinpoint, beautiful ball, touchdown Crusaders. Point after attempt missed. Your final score, 21-19. And the Crew stay undefeated another week.
Boy, those were some fun games. So let's go ahead and talk about the scores from this week.
Week 4 scores brought to you by Light 'em Up Video Productions. And as we earlier saw, the Enid Enforcers came away with this one by a score of 55-0 against the Southwest Gravediggers. And then you also saw the nail-biter between the Tri-City Panthers and the Crusaders. The Crusaders winning this one by a score of 21-19. Next, the Northwest Arkansas Battle just completely demolished the Kansas City Saints by a score of 35-0. The Muskogee Bulldogs, the Dog Pound, keep improving as they beat last week's number 1 Green Country Phoenix by a score of 20-0. And then it was the West Central Warriors improving against the Arkansas Steelers by a score of 28-20. The Arkansas Ducks won this one at half by a score of 42-0. The Amarillo Bandits, they actually put together a few drives, but it was the Arkansas Guardians who finished the game by a score of 28-14. The Queen City Grizzlies and Dallas Bulldogs had to be rescheduled for a later date.
That'll bring us to this week's rankings.
Week 5 CFL rankings brought to you by Lightning Bail Bonds. Get out with a flash with Lightning. At number 1, retaining 4-0, the Enid Enforcers, followed by the 4-0 Joplin Crusaders coming off that close victory last week. At number 3, the Arkansas Battle at 3-0, followed by the number 4 Tri-City Panthers. The Arkansas Guardians come in at number 5, followed by the Arkansas Extra, the Dallas Bulldogs, the Amarillo Bandits, the Queen City Grizzlies, and at number 10, the 0-4 Kansas City Saints. Now let's get into the DCFL. At number 1, the Muskogee Bulldogs coming in at 3-1, followed by the 2-1 Arkansas Ducks, the West Central Warriors coming in at number 3, and then dropping down to the 4th spot, the Green Country Phoenix. Then it's the Arkansas Tornadoes, the Arkansas Steelers, the Southwest Gravediggers, and at the 8th place, the Arkansas Raptors.
So let's get right into this week's matchups brought to you by Defender Sports.
This week's matchups and predictions brought to you by Defender Sports. Defender, the official uniform manufacturer and maker for the Major League Minor Show. This week we're going to see the Amarillo Bandits travel once again to the east side, way east. This time they're going to Springfield, to Queen City, to face off against the Grizzlies. And I think this one's going to be a decent game, but I'm going to give it to the Grizzlies by a score of 17-7. Next, we're going to see the Muskogee Bulldogs face off against Arkansas Steelers all the way down in Little Rock. And I think this one's going to be an easy game for the Bulldogs. So the Dog Pound get this one by a score of 35-3. Next, we're going to see the Ducks travel all the way to Snyder, Oklahoma to face off against the Southwest Gravediggers. If the Gravediggers can't dig themselves out of this one, they're going to have a real long season, but I'm going to give this one to the Ducks by a score of 21-10. We're going to see the Arkansas Guardians travel all the way down to Dallas to face off against the Bulldogs. I think this is going to be another good game, but I'm going to give home field advantage to the Bulldogs by a score of 14-10. Next, we're going to see the Arkansas Tornadoes face off against the Arkansas Raptors. The Tornadoes, I'm going to give this one a 21-point favorite to 21-0 Tornadoes. And then we're going to see the Arkansas Extra face off against the Tri-City Panthers. The Extra, a scrappy bunch. They don't have too far to travel, but the Panthers, they're pretty salty by losing to Joplin last week, so I'm going to give this one to the Panthers by a score of 28-14. That'll bring us to this week's Game of the Week. This week in the DCFL, we're going to see the West Central Warriors face off against the Green Country Phoenix. The Phoenix, coming off of last week's shocking loss, I think are going to redeem themselves, so I'm going to give this one a score of 21-17 in their home opener. Next, this is going to be a great game. You've got to go see this one. If you can't be there in person, you're going to have to watch it. It's broadcasted on the Springdale Sports Network. Go to our website at www.majorleagueminor.com for details. We're going to see the Enid Enforcers travel to Springdale to face off against the NWA Battle. This is going to be a great game, and it's going to be a nail-biter to the finish. But I'm going to predict an upset this week. The Battle are going to win this one by a score of 21-17.
We'll be right back, and we'll talk about what's going on with the Oklahoma City Bounty Hunters.
Light them up again, baby.
So the Bounty Hunters, unfortunately, take a forfeited win, so they won't be playing this week. So we'll have to find out what's going on next week for them in next week's show. So that's it, folks. I hope you join us again next week as we talk about the XFL, the CFL, the Bounty Hunters, and we'll be covering a little bit more about what's going on with the Oklahoma Thunder next week. So until then, I'm Chris Dotson reminding you to go watch some football.